Hey, Max here. Watch Your Brain Media presents coverage of The Last of Us, the HBO TV series based on the critically acclaimed video game by Naughty Dog. Co host Robbie and I break down each and every episode of one of the most highly anticipated new shows of 2023. We're talking about in depth episode recaps, reviews, character breakdowns, predictions, interesting and hot takes, and of course, some random thoughts that always seem to come up. After seeing the first teaser trailer, this show is primed to being the next big hit for HBO. We simply can't wait. We kick off this podcast with the first episode where we discuss the latest trailer and some early character introductions. So join us for weekly episodes wherever you consume your podcasts.
If you don't think there's hope for the world, why bother going on?
You haven't seen the world, so you don't know. You keep going for family.
I'm not family.
No? You're cargo.
Why are you so important?
Somewhere out west, they're working on a cure. I think what really impressed them was the fact that I didn't turn into a fucking monster.
If she so much as twitches, don't.
Okay.
If I'm taking you with me, do what I say when I say it. You got any advice on the best way west?
Yeah, go east. You come this far, then you know what's out there.
You're not gonna scare us.
Scared him?
You have a greater purpose than any of us could have ever imagined.
Be careful who you put your faith in.
You might not be her father, but you were someone's.
You trust me?
Dude, this looks good.
It's gonna be
This looks
awesome.
good. This looks good.
I mean, I love when they do that with the music. Oh, what is that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. Look at that. What is that thing? I'm all in. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I'm pumped. After seeing that trailer, I mean, I was already pumped with the first one, the
Yeah.
first little teaser trailer, but this one definitely takes it to the next level. Little scared because, taking a video game, adapting it into
A series?
television or even movies and stuff doesn't seem to really work out well. As we saw in Halo. I have some issues with Halo, even though I think there's some good stuff with Halo, but
The Resident Evil franchise was okay, and that was kind of a zombie thing. It was okay. They were fun.
No,
the first 2, 3.
We're going off topic already. No. It's a tall order.
I said fun. I didn't say Academy Awards.
Okay, it's fun. It's just it's a tall order to take something that, especially like a video game, something that you spend so much time playing,
critically acclaimed,
20
video
like
game.
good games are 20 to 40 hours long, and you immerse yourself into this world, and you're in control of this world, and to then put that control into somebody else, and then have them take you on this journey, I don't feel like it works out a lot of times, but. Judging by this trailer and who's writing it, done by HBO, which HBO always does a fabulous job.
And the video game creators.
Yeah,
they're
and
deeply involved. And they said they're not
Naughty
gonna,
Dog,
they're not gonna go completely off. They're gonna follow the video game story, which is one of the best stories in video games.
Yeah,
right?
just watching that,
enhance it.
Yeah.
Enhance the story by giving you a little bit more detail. So that's what I'm really excited for.
Well, just watching the trailer, I was kind of replaying the video game in my head. Yeah, I know it's spoiler free. I'm not going to talk about where it's going to go and stuff. Try to let people get there on their own. But yeah, I think it looks great. I think they got most of the right actors to play the parts.
We're going to talk about actors. That's what this.
We'll talk about it.
Really about.
But yeah, let's jump into our thoughts then.
Aside from the trailer, we want to do a quick character breakdown.
Right.
Just a couple of the key characters, especially ones we see in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the lead of Joel Miller will be played by one of my favorite actors I mean, when he came on Game of Thrones as Prince Oberyn, I mean, he stole the show that
Man,
season.
if he wasn't so cocky.
Let's not get into that. But Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian himself,
Din Djarin.
It's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's gonna be. I haven't seen him do anything that's not great, so you know he's gonna do an epic job as Joel Miller.
Yeah.
Now, I found these great character bios on one of the major Last of Us websites. I thought it would be great to, before the show starts, we get a little brief back history.
Yeah.
What I'm going to call our first 5 major characters of the show.
Yeah.
Let's start with Joel Miller himself, a brutal survivor with few moral lines left to cross. Joel, now in his late 40s, has been hardened by the ravages of the fungal pandemic that has devastated civilization as we know it. He's lost friends, family, and everything he valued in life. Living in one of the few remaining military-controlled quarantine zones, he operates as a black market smuggler, dealing in contraband, taking numerous dehumanizing jobs over the years to survive in this new post-pandemic world. Joel's conscience slowly dwindles away as he shuts down his emotions to cope to his new life. He's become very jaded, you'll see when we watch, because obviously when the world goes to hell, and you lose friends and family,
Yeah.
I mean, not many smiles and giggles at this point, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll say one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite video games of all time is Naughty Dog does such a great job establishing these characters, but then also the way these characters play off of each other. Joel and Ellie are such a huge, important part. Basically, it's their story.
Yeah.
At least the first one is.
Yeah.
When you see the events that lead into how Joel becomes kind of the person who he is, it's so powerful. It's done so well. And if they can manage to capture that and throw that into this show,
it's going to be interesting to see that when we're doing our episode reviews and recaps, and we're gonna how well they do that.
We're gonna see range from Pedro.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because he has to. This character,
the emotional gamut he goes through, he's going to portray that extremely well.
Yeah.
The next is Ellie Williams, our other main character, played by Bella Ramsey. She was in Game of Thrones as well.
Another
alumni. She had a few show-stealing scenes in Game of Thrones, and she killed the giant who was turned at the end.
What if?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. What if no one's seen? What if the people listening to this?
Oh, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones at this point, come on, guys, get your life in order. Forget what happens in season 8. You still got to watch the whole show.
All right,
but anyway, she was also in His Dark Materials, another HBO thing from the Golden Compass. You remember the Golden Compass movie?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but it's a show basically coming off of that movie. But she's a up and coming phenomenal actress.
Yeah.
Her potential is through the roof, and I think this is going to be her other breakout performance here. So Ellie, a brave 14-year-old girl, Ellie has grown up in this harsh world, and it is all she has ever known. She's an orphan who was raised in a boarding school run by the military within the bounds of the quarantine zone. Naive and curious about the outside world, she is wise beyond her years and highly capable of taking care of herself and those around her. Obsessed with comic books, CDs, and other pop culture, her knowledge base is filled by the remnants of a world that no longer exists. She sounds like a typical 14-year-old there, obsessed with pop culture. If there was a TikTok, she would be on there. You know what I mean? So, but she's a great character, and her development and story arc is phenomenal, and I can't wait to see how they develop it. And I think Ellie Williams is gonna knock it out of the park. I mean, Bella is gonna knock it out of the park. Yeah,
she's a great actress. It's just that dynamic between Joel and Ellie is so crucial.
Yeah.
In the games, and for me, in order for this show to be successful, that has to carry over into this show.
Yeah.
The way that Joel deals with his loss, the way that she deals with her loss, then that affects the way they deal with each other.
Yeah.
That relationship grows and it becomes something so powerful that it just carries. It
resonates throughout the show.
Yeah, it resonates through the whole show. That's a perfect way to say it.
Next character is Tess, played by one of my favorite, Anatole from Fringe.
If you have not seen Fringe, it is amazing. So if you are like me and if anyone's listening to this podcast and you were a big Lost fan,
yeah,
and you were really highly into Lost, and then you got into the end of Lost, and then you were sitting there going, man, the writers seemed like they were lost because I don't know how it was a bad ending to a great show.
Yeah.
Fringe is the follow-up, not the follow-up to actually Lost, but the people that created Lost when they did Fringe, and they had a plan.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Actually, I don't know if it's the same writers. I know that it's still J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
It's J.J. Abrams for sure.
Yeah.
But Fringe is Lost and the X-Files combined.
Yeah.
It's so good from the beginning to the end. I know we're talking about something completely different. I just had to throw that out there.
It's worth it
it's
for
amazing.
the actress. It was
a
great show.
Yeah, so go.
I mean, I named my firstborn child Olivia for Olivia Dunham. So
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. We did. Me and my wife, we did. Olivia, you're named after a character on a TV show.
Excellent. Well, my daughter's name is Elora, so figure out where that's from.
So, Tess, after the brain infection outbreak, Tessa became a smuggler in the Boston quarantine zone, living in Area 4. While there, she met Joel. The two became partners, Joel serving as the muscle, while she was the brains in their operation. Heavily relying upon each other in the post-pandemic world, the two become close, Tessa even affectionately calling him Texas, and the two flirt with each other during their missions, heavily relying upon each other in this post-pandemic world. With Tessa having various contacts in the Boston underworld and a no-holds-barred approach, she and Joel earned a ruthless reputation to the point where their fellow survivors within the quarantine zone did not attempt to ever cross them. So obviously they became, famous for being a dynamic duo in terms of smuggling.
Yeah. Well, if I remember...
No spoilers.
Yeah, I know. Tess, I mean, these are all... Obviously, we're talking about these characters. They're all important characters. I could say that going off of Anna Torv. Did you say her name? Anna Torv?
I think that you nailed it. I don't know how I butchered it.
I think it's got to be Anna Torv. Anyways, I think she's the perfect actress for this. She's great. I've seen her in obviously not just Fringe, but other things.
Mindhunters, she was good.
She's fabulous. So I'm glad this is a good pickup for sure.
Next, we have Marlene. She is a very important character because she is one of the heads of the resistant movement, basically a revolutionary military group featured as the antagonist faction in both the video games, right? They revolted against military opposition in numerous quarantine zones around the United States, intending to restore government control. However, they are largely unsuccessful in their war against the military that's controlling these quarantine zones.
So Marlene Dandridge, that's a great choice to have her,
reprise the role.
Reprise the role because she does the voice for that character in the video game. And she's on Flight Attendant. I love Flight Attendant. Yeah. I shouldn't love Flight Attendant, but I like Flight Attendant.
I love that show too.
Oh, man.
Both seasons were solid.
You talk about a show with a bunch of tank skids and like WTF moments. That's probably the number one show this year. But no, I think she's great for this role and obviously an important character because we're talking about her.
Yeah.
Without talking about any spoilers and stuff like that, I guess you can say she's the main reason why Joel and Ellie go on this mission.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I guess it's the best way to say that without really ruining anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. The next is Tommy Miller, played by Gabriel Luna. He was in True Detective. Don't kind of remember who he was in True Detective. I love season 1 of True Detective. I tolerated season 2, and I haven't watched season 3. People tell me it wasn't that good.
I didn't watch season 3.
Yeah. But I think most people, that's the review. Love season 1, somewhat tolerate season 2, but a lot of people didn't like season 2. I thought it was okay.
I like season 2.
Yeah, so did I. I think it was underrated. Anyway, Tommy survived the early years of the outbreak with Joel, his brother. However, the two separated as Tommy sought a more meaningful life than mere survival, leading him to join the resistance and later seeking redemption through his wife, Maria, and the community of Jackson.
Both Joel and Tommy definitely take different paths.
Yes.
And it's interesting to see in the video game where they both ended up landing.
Yeah.
If they play it like they did in the video game, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting how they do this because it's like, to go even deeper, it's like when something catastrophic like, obviously the apocalypse happens, right? You're going to have a group of people who are going to become jaded and just become the worst versions of themselves to survive. And then you have those who are like, okay, I've survived, but now can we get back to something more meaningful, something more humane?
Right.
And that's where these two are going to be. It's going to be very interesting to see how they develop this.
Yeah.
And then the next character
Hold on, Gabriel Luna.
Oh, yeah.
I know who this guy is. He plays the Terminator in Terminator Dark
Oh,
Fate.
that's right.
He's also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and his character is pretty awesome. I think it's solid.
The next is obviously the Infected. I mean, this is the curveball, the unmanageable opposition that that oversees everything.
Right.
The Infected are humans who have been infected by a brain infection and subsequently mutated into horrific new forms. The resulting creatures are aggressive and will attack any uninfected humans and animals on sight. I think that's on par and the MO of every zombie. If you're not one of us, you're going to get eaten. And become one of us.
But the Infected are also really secondary to this show, because I would think most people didn't watch Walking Dead to see a bunch of zombies get killed or people trying to get away from the zombies.
Yeah.
It was really the characters that were in The Walking Dead. And the same thing applies, at least for me, in this show. It should apply to these characters, because these characters are so powerful that the Infected are really just an obstacle.
Yeah, they're the curveball.
The characters are what obviously is going to drive this show.
Yeah, and how they deal with other humans. Because what makes a lot of these post-apocalyptic shows, movies, in any genre, isn't the zombies or the monsters. It's really the dynamic of the humans, the survivors left behind. Because a lot of times they do more damage than the zombies. The zombies are just like you said it perfectly. They're just an obstacle.
Right.
But one of the things that trailer showed really well, and what I'm really excited for in terms of seeing the show being developed out of the video game, is them traveling across the United States and the beautiful scenery and navigating through all kinds of human obstacles and things. So that's going to be really fun to see. And in the scale that HBO does things, I expect it to be visually phenomenal and stunning.
Yeah. It's also, it's a post-apocalyptic show.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for really anything post-apocalyptic.
So am I, dude.
I love post-apocalyptic. I just love it.
Me too. You give me anything, I'm in.
So you put the post-apocalyptic show with HBO, then you say, oh, it's going to be about The Last of Us, and then you talk about what cast you're actually throwing into this.
Yeah.
It's set up to be gold. Hopefully the execution is there.
Yeah. We have a couple other characters, just quickly. Murray Burtlett, The White Lotus, and Nick Offerman, Parks and Recreation, as Frank and Bill.
Yes.
Those are going to be great characters.
See, I thought I saw him in the trailer.
Yeah, they're going to be great characters, okay? Two post-pandemic survivalists living alone in their own isolated town. Can you imagine that? Just,
funny.
You control a whole town and you just, that's it.
Going off the trailer, because I didn't really know who was playing what, obviously, except for the main two leads, and then Anna Torv. I knew she was in this. But when I saw that trailer, I thought Nick Offerman was playing Joel's brother.
Oh, okay. That could have worked.
Threw me for a loop when I looked at this doc that he is not. So how many episodes is this series?
Typical HBO, it's going to have 10 episodes. That's kind of like one of their most popular kind of number. Game of Thrones, a lot of their major shows, 10 episodes, 10 weeks, you're in and you're out, and you can't wait for the next season to come around. So I hope.
I'm assuming they haven't already said there's going to definitely be a second season.
Yeah, they usually wait at least. The earliest I see is like maybe a week or two after.
The new Lord of the Rings show on Amazon, I think the only way Amazon got the rights to do that show is if they signed on to say they would do 5 seasons no matter what.
Wow.
Yeah.
They really want to tell a story. I actually enjoy that show.
But there's a difference between Lord of the Rings and The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm super psyched about this show. I look forward to watching this every single day, midnight when it comes out, and then us jumping on a podcast really fast, giving everybody a hot take really quick, and then spend the next day kind of reviewing it, really diving into it, and then doing another one. So this is going to be our first weekly show.
Leading up to the show, we'll drop other pertinent episodes if there's anything new that comes out that's relevant before the launch. But until then, we can't wait, and we'll be here episode 1 to do a full show recap. And then, like you said, a couple of days later, we're going to do a full deep dive review, speculations, without doing extreme spoilers for people who haven't played the video game.
That's going to be the tough part.
Yeah, but we're going to do our best.
Yeah.
Actually, I guarantee we will not do any groundbreaking spoilers for people who haven't played the video game.
I'm going to do my best. No, we should be able to do that.
Yeah, we should be able to do that. Just to be fair, we're going to watch it as if we never played the game.
That's going to be tough because, like I've said, I think I said it 5 times through this, however long this podcast is, This is one of my favorite video games of all time. It's really the reason why I own a PlayStation.
Oh,
Naughty Dog is one of the
can see
reasons
that.
why I own a PlayStation. The stuff that they do is great.
Yep.
And The Last of Us it's so good. The storytelling is so good. The writing is amazing. The character development is amazing. I mean, I'm not even talking about the gameplay. The gameplay of the game is already great. The game looks gorgeous, but the story itself and the way that Ellie and Joel play off of each other is so crucial.
Yeah.
It's so crucial. If they can hit that in this show, it's going to be great, and it's going to last a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
But that dynamic has to be there. For me, it does, because that's what makes the show for me.
Couldn't say it any better than that. Can't wait for it. And thanks for listening.
We'll talk soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Last of Us, a Rot Your Brain podcast. Subscribe to The Last of Us podcast feed at rotyourbrainmedia.com/The Last of Us. Follow us on Twitter at rot_yourbrain. And support Rot Your Brain Media and its podcast by being a part of this exciting new and growing community. Visit patreon.com/rotyourbrainmedia.